Welcome to your Season 21 Blaseball weather update. This is the Earlseason forecast. Warning: this video contains forbidden knowledge. Stop watching now if you do not wish to access hidden information. This video would not have been possible without the work of the Society for Internet Blaseball Research. Despite fans raising another sun in the election, flooding is back on top as the most common weather. Sun 2, Black Hole and Salmon follow in that order. We do have an Earlseason casualty. There will be no glitter games at all, and only one coffee game. Hawaii will host the most Sun 2 games, the Hellmouth the most salmon, and Canada the most flooding. Meanwhile, Baltimore is being greedy, hosting the most solar eclipses, feedback, and Peanuts games. Stay tuned for a team-by-team breakdown after an economy update. Whilst flooding has increased on Season 20, we are seeing lower rates of all snack weathers. But with 20 black hole activations and 30 Sun 2 activations during Season 20, those snacks are paying out. Sadly, the lift opened Season 21 with no modification help. They'll have to make do with having Sun 2 as their most common weather. The Fridays are granted one game each to use birdhouses and flood pumps. Their highest weather is Sun 2, and they play the most games in this of any team. The mechanics have a better time in this Earlseason, with one game each to use psychoacoustics, echo chamber, and sweetener. Their most frequent weather is flooding, and they will play a polarity game. The garages are on tour, playing no home games in the Earlseason, and so they cannot use any of their modifications. Salmon and flooding will be their most common weathers. The lovers have one chance to use sweetener, 2 to fill their birdhouses, and 1 to use LCD sound system. Flooding is their highest weather, and they play a polarity game. The tacos get 2 chances to use heat magnet, 1 to use birdhouses, and are granted 1 game from their weather increaser. They will play 4 Sun 2 games overall. The tacos will have lots of fillings in the Earlseason, with 4 joint highest weathers in birds, black hole, Sun 2 and salmon. They will also play a polarity game. The Magic have 2 opportunities to use heat magnets, 4 to use solar panels, and 2 to add to their birdhouses. Their most common weather will be flooding. The Sunbeams can use psychoacoustics 3 times, solar panels 5, and get 4 salmon games at home. Overall, their most frequent weather is Sun 2. The Jazz Hands are granted 4 Sun 2 games from their increaser, and then see 2 games each for sweetener and birdhouses. Their highest weather is flooding. The Stakes have 2 chances to caffeinate and are given a blood rain game to accompany this. Their most common weather is flooding, but they play the most coffee threes games of any team, and also a polarity game. The Spies get 3 chances to use flood pumps, but the rest of their modifications must be undercover. Their most frequent weather is flooding. The Wild Wings have 4 opportunities to use flood pumps and 1 to use sweetener. Their increases also grant them 1 birds game and 3 Sun 2 games. Their highest weather is flooding, and they will play 2 polarity games. The Breath Mints have 4 games in which they can use psychoacoustics and echo chamber, but their most common weather is flooding. Sadly, the Firefighters can't use any of their modifications in the Earlseason, and they have to deal with flooding as their most common weather. The Worms get just 2 chances to use flood pumps. They don't see any black holes at home, but will get 3 away. Their most common weather is flooding, and they'll play a polarity game. The Moist Talkers live up to their name, with 7 flooding games at home, increasing to 10 overall, making it not only their most frequent weather, but the most games any team will play in it. The Flowers can enjoy the sun with 5 games for their solar panels. They also get 2 each for psychoacoustics and flood pumps. Their highest weather is flooding. The Millennials have 1 chance to use psychoacoustics and sweetener, 5 chances to use flood pumps, and 4 to use solar panels. Black holes and flooding will be their joint highest weathers, and they will play a polarity game. The Pies have 3 games to welcome bird friends home and 4 overall to say hi to them. Their most common weathers will be solar eclipse, black hole and sun 2. The Crabs will play 4 games each for psychoacoustics, flood pumps and heat magnet. They will be the only team not to play in black hole weather, meaning their modifications have been declawed. Their most frequent weather is solar eclipse, and they play the most games of this than any other team. The Shoe Thieves get 1 opportunity to use psychoacoustics, but see no coffee. Flooding will be their highest weather, and they'll play 2 polarity games. The Georges get 1 game for their LCD sound system and psychoacoustics. They will see 5 games each for their event horizon and weather increaser. Flooding will be their most common weather overall. The Dalles will see 2 chances to use psychoacoustics and LCD sound system, and then 1 chance each for sweetener and birdhouses. Their most frequent weather will be flooding. The Tigers see 1 birds game for their feathered friends and 1 blood rain game to be sealed tight in. They are also granted 3 salmon games. They'll get 1 solar eclipse in the Earlseason, but their highest weather will be flooding. Thanks for tuning into the weather. I'll be back with your mid-season forecast tomorrow, but until then, rejoice, play ball.